What's up guys, Jordan Sovis from Sovis Productions here with 10 quick tips to help you knock it out of the park in your next on-camera interview. Let's begin. Tip number 1, rehearse your introduction. It can initially seem awkward or uncomfortable to be on camera. It might confuse you when you start speaking. This is why it's important to know how you'll start. Once the ball gets rolling, it gets easier, but knowing where to start definitely helps. This is typically as simple as just your name and title, but figuring out how you want to say it before you're in the spotlight definitely helps. Tip number 2, speaking complete sentences with defined ending points when possible. When you're asked a question on camera, it will always sound best to repeat or rephrase the question back to the person conducting the interview in a complete sentence. For example, if you're asked, "How long have you been farming with draft horses?" A good answer would be, "I have been farming with draft horses for 55 years. The reason for this is so that the interviewer's question can be excluded from the final edit, and your answer will be able to stand on its own. An answer of 55 years would not have any context when the question's removed. It's also important to end each sentence on a down tone, as if you were stating it, instead of on an up tone, as if you were asking a question. Ending your sentences on a down tone instead of on an up tone greatly improves your look of confidence. It shows that you mean what you say and that you're speaking with a purpose. Tip number 3, speak in the present tense. Each time you find it necessary to repeat something that you've already said, it's best to say it as if you were saying it for the first time. Don't preface your repetition with words like, "as I said before," or "like I said earlier." The reason for this is that the final video might not be put together in the same order in which it was recorded. So what you described as earlier may not have happened yet in the video. Tip number 4, maintain good eye contact. During the interview, talk to the person who is asking you the questions. Don't worry about anyone else who might be watching. If you're looking around at other people or things, the viewer in the final video might wonder who you're looking at. After you're finished answering each question, the interviewer may give you a few seconds of silence in order to make for a good cutting point while editing. This might feel a little awkward for you, but it's best just to maintain your eye contact through the silence. Crack a smile if you'd like. Tip number 5, keep good position. During the interview, plant your feet or your bottom if you're sitting down in one place as if you were nailed down there. Try not to move around, shift your weight, rock, bounce, shuffle your feet. These types of movement can cause unwanted noise in the recording. Since the camera remains stationary, any movements you make will tend to be more pronounced. You can look like you're ducking on and off the screen at times, and the camera focus will be harder to maintain for the person videotaping. Don't feel like you can't move at all though. Small, natural movements or hand gestures are good for emphasis. Tip number 6, make a list of all the important parts that you want to cover. Know your message points. Be sure to tell the viewers exactly where to find you on the web, what your product is, or where to buy your product. The more you are prepared for what you want to say and how you want to say it, the smoother the recording process will go, and the better the final video will be. By making a list in advance, you can be sure to cover all the important points. Before the interview is over, double check your list to make sure that you've covered everything that you want to cover. Tip number 7, making mistakes while on camera. Don't worry too much about making mistakes. If you say something that didn't come out right, simply stop and start the sentence over as if it never happened. All of your mistakes will be edited out of the final video and no one will be the wiser. If there's a question that you don't understand or that you don't want to answer, feel free to say, "I don't want to answer that." Tip number 8, keep your answers short. Make sure you don't run on and on and on with each question. When nerves creep in, this is easy to do. Remember, the person who is interviewing you wants you to do a good job. They will ask you for additional details if needed. They will likely not come back and ask you to fill in or explain in a different way if you are long-winded with each answer. Tip number 9, keep the audience wanting more. This goes hand in hand with the last point of keeping your answers short. You may initially think that adding in lots of detail when answering each question is good, But this is usually not the case. Many people have very short attention spans, and you want to keep them interested in the video. Remember to give them just a taste of the details so they can feel inspired to look further into you, your product, or your brand. Tip number 10, relax and have fun. It's important to look relaxed, comfortable, and confident on camera. Pretend like the camera isn't even there, but instead as if you were making an exciting pitch to a small group of people. No matter how much time is scheduled for the interview, you will find that the time goes by real fast. Remember to take the time to smile, have fun, and enjoy it. And that's it. That wraps up today's video on how to rock out your next on-camera interview. Hopefully this has helped you out. If it has, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and click the bell notification. Thanks so much for watching.